have that other match going on here. We can take a look at how that's going. Kent versus Consus. It would appear that Consus so far has won his moving game, and it seems we're going to get to take a look at possibly their no move whenever that is prepared. Look how calm Consus is.
Yeah, I was going to say, looking as calm and collected as ever.
He's just ready to go.
Way.
The Consus way. I wonder if he ate his melons today. Does anybody know my reference from the World Cup? Chat, let me know if you know what I'm talking about. We talked about it on the desk there, which was fun. Consus would eat a bunch of melons in the hotel breakfast every morning, and that was his little secret trick. Both World Cups, actually, I should say.
Oh, worked the first time, clearly.
It clearly worked the first time. I mean, again, Consus is our first ever world champion of GeoGuessr, winning the 2023 GeoGuessr World Cup very impressively. But he's still in it. He did pretty well in the World Cup of last as well, back in September.
And here we go. After a little bit of a delay, we are getting into it. Not a surprise, I would say that Consus won the moving game. I would consider him the stronger of the two when it comes to moving. But both phenomenal no-moving and MPZ players, so this will come down to the wire. Great entertainment, honestly, in all these games. such good players, such even matchups. Just fun to watch.
It's so fun to watch. I enjoy it so much. Just the level of talent that we get to see from these players, the knowledge, the amazing guesses. It's always so exciting. Consus with a quick lock in there. Kent to follow, and they're right next to each other.
Yep. A similar area to that round that the 89 and Pan had in southern Norway. Very similar look. You had that sort of rockiness on the side of the road. So both players opting for very similar guesses there.
Yeah, and 22 health. 22.
This is definitely tougher, though. We just have some trees. We will see what the players come up with here.
Yeah, there's really not much here to look at or even talk about. This is a difficult one. You do have Generation 4 camera. That's that more saturated looking camera quality. That can be helpful in some sense, helps you narrow things down. I'd say vegetation and things feels European. As you can see, Kent also kind of just zoomed in, generally looking at Europe, debating his guess. But otherwise, this is really a vibe guess when it comes down to it. We'll see where these players end up guessing. We have a Croatia here, possibly from Kent. Consus, not too sure yet.
Yeah, I like the Central Europe vibe. Croatia, I could see Hungary, I could see Austria. Yeah, Consus in Hungary, I like that guess a lot as well. And switching to Western Hungary now. We will see. Wow, it's Istria? Wow.
It is just
oh
going to be
goodness.
Coastal Croatia. Wow, and Kent was in Croatia, but pretty far east. Would have gotten him a couple more points there. We do move on. Round 3, 2 times damage.
That was a crazy location. How is that coastal like that?
Because
that coastal area of Croatia is always so dry and rocky most of the time. That was a really crazy road. Anyway, back to rural Europe. This time a little more north. A lot of redness on the buildings in the distance, so the Nordic guess makes a lot of sense from Kent, and they're very similar areas of Sweden here. Definitely makes sense from both players.
Yeah, and Consus just ends up being a little closer, but really they were making the same guess there. Just sort of central, west of Stockholm. It made sense. It worked out. We go...
Oh, New Iceland.
Next.
Very cool. So Google drove Gen 4 car in Iceland very recently. So we get a lot of beautiful New Iceland coverage. They hadn't covered Iceland in probably over a decade before that. So really cool to see these landscapes in higher quality now. Not an easy country to region guess, though. So we will see what the players can come up with.
Yeah, there's really not much to go off of. No signs. But yeah, I do love seeing the new Gen 4 Iceland. It's always so beautiful, getting to see it in its glory.
Similar guesses here. I think Kent is a little more north right now, but not by much. It's just pretty close to Reykjavik in the end.
Yeah.
Very little to separate them so far. Kent, of course, knows he needs to win this to extend it, get it to the NMPZ. Pressure's on him.
Yeah, but still not too much of a point differential between these two players. But 3 times damage again. We're getting into serious territory here.
Similar guesses again makes sense. I mean, this very flat, sort of red soiled landscape is something you see a lot in eastern Thailand. Going a little more south than you might have expected, but
Still
again,
east.
Same idea.
Yeah. And we go on to our round 6. Quick pan around from the players. They both want to look the opposite direction from spawn, see what they can see. Nothing right off rip. Just looking around, one little sign there. It's a 1-800 number. That's not going to be too helpful, but it doesn't seem to be that we're in the
French.
US, maybe Canada. But it is French.
Yeah, the language on the yellow sign is French, so it should be Quebec, I believe. And it said urgence and it said emergency, but the first language is French, so I have to assume that
yes, then it should be
it's going to be Quebec.
Should be Quebec. Imagine reading. All I read was the phone
Didn't
number.
realize.
Oh, he didn't see the French. Ooh, wow, but they actually both end up being pretty similarly far apart, but of course Kent closer because he is in Quebec, and with the multis gives a decent bit of damage down to Consus.
Now, you could see Kent's reaction there. He wasn't very happy because he knew it was Quebec because he saw the French, and it happened to be Western Quebec, which kind of saved Consus. If that was Eastern Quebec, Consus probably would have lost the game right there.
Definitely, which is pretty insane to think about. A lucky break there for Consus. Kent on top now, 5,000 health versus Consus's 3,700. Consus with a quick lock. Chile, Kent following suit. Chile as well. We shouldn't see too much here. They're both pretty much on top of each other.
Yep. Great guess from Consus, though.
Yeah, amazing Consus guess. He is a little closer. That's a decent bit of damage there. They've tied it up. They've tied it up, people. It's almost like we reset, but now we have multis.
Ooh, Jordan? Interesting. Yeah, you get a lot of this sort of dry mountainous landscape you get a lot near sort of Wadi Musa, kind of Petra area, which is, I think, around where both players are right now. Pretty similar guesses.
Yeah. So it shouldn't be too much again.
Unlikely to see much damage here, but worth noting, we're getting close to the end of the game here. Only 2 rounds after this.
Yeah,
we're down to the wire.
Kent really needs this game here if he wants to stay alive and at least take a point and then maybe win the NMPZ. So round 8, everything is on the line for him versus Consus right now. Kent with the closer guess, keeping him in it, and he takes a little lead now as we go into round 9. That's important for him. At most, we have only 2 rounds left.
Okay, well, Nigeria is going to be big here. This definitely could decide the game. This is a very tricky rural Nigeria round. You have that police follow car, this Toyota that you see following the Google car. That's what you'll see pretty much everywhere in Nigeria. It's a great clue if you're unsure about the country. But the region guess is a lot more difficult.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do anything impressive here with the little information that they have. Again, it is green, so south makes sense, but otherwise, I mean, you see these players looking all over. They are both now near Lagos, which is interesting.
Yeah, the Lagos guess is interesting. That's probably not where I would have been. The sort of hilliness would have made me think it's just a little more east than that. But Kent's pin is not there. He's a good deal further east. Oh, wow.
Wow, Consus a little closer.
He takes the lead.
Wow, he takes the lead. This one round is now everything.
Impressive guess from Consus. I would not have thought that was Lagos State, so that's really well played by him there.
Agreed.
Here we go, round 10. What are we growing here? Marijuana?
Yeah, what is that?
It might be. I'm not sure.
I don't know. But they're trying to see what else they can find besides these plants. Consus seems to be zoomed in here pretty close on Cambodia, Thai, right on the border.
This is it. Kent needs to be closer, but he doesn't need to be much closer. He just needs to make a slightly better guess, and that would be enough.
Yeah, basically whoever's closest on this, it wins. I really believe with how close these points are in the multi at 5.5. If you're closer at all, you win. They're both in tie, both pretty central tie as well. They're almost on top of each other.
If it's more oh my gosh.
Consus is closer, and with the lead and the closer guess, he takes our round 10, which wins him the game.